Hello everyone, and welcome to the Missouri School Boards Association's Board Report for the month of June. We thank you for the opportunity to share some news and information during a few minutes of your board meeting. We begin with a look at the 2014 regular session of the Missouri General Assembly that adjourned on May 16th. One of the most notable actions of the legislature this year was an override of Governor Nixon's veto of a state income tax cut bill that will reduce state revenue and possibly reduce state funding for our schools in the long term. The tax cuts in the bill do not take effect until 2017 and are projected to reduce state revenue by at least $620 million, according to the legislature's own estimates. But perhaps of even more immediate concern is the passage of a series of tax breaks in the final hours of the legislative session that could reduce state revenue for the fiscal year beginning July 1st. MSBA's Associate Executive Director for Advocacy, Mike Reed, says while the tax breaks were passed as separate bills, they will have a cumulative impact.
While we may be in favor of some of the tax credits that were passed because they do some good and as far as economic development, in totality, they come to approximately $300 million or more of tax breaks, tax credits. So a reduction of general revenue by $300 million is quite large, especially in the fact that right now our general revenue is not growing. And so we may come into some time that this may hurt us.
Governor Nixon has said the tax breaks put the state budget seriously out of balance. The General Assembly did approve a $115 million increase in funding for the foundation formula for the coming fiscal year, but that amount could be in jeopardy because of the tax breaks passed by the legislature. Another major piece of legislation passed this year attempted to deal with the issue of unaccredited school districts and student transfers out of those school districts. But the most troubling aspect of the bill was a voucher provision that would have allowed students in unaccredited school districts to use taxpayer money to transfer to private schools under certain conditions. Governor Nixon vetoed the bill largely due to that provision. It's unclear whether or not the legislature will attempt to override that veto when it reconvenes for its veto session in September. For a complete overview of the 2014 legislative session, you can view MSBA's Capital Watch program posted on the MSBA website. While the number of farms in Missouri and throughout the United States continues to shrink, participation in high school agriculture programs such as FFA is growing. Right now there are about 26,000 students throughout Missouri participating in FFA, learning skills not just for farming careers, but also preparing them for careers in fields such as biology, chemistry, veterinary medicine, and engineering. One of the many outstanding FFA chapters in Missouri is in Eldon. Chapter President Nick Parks tells us FFA provides students with life skills.
We do have lots of farmers here, don't get that part of the program wrong, but we also have lots of leadership, which involves public speaking, being able to lead by example as well as lead a group, and also just working with a group and communicating back and forth with them. Really, this is what the program is about, is being leaders of our community and maybe even leaders of our state or even government at one point in time in the future.
FFA programs such as the one in Eldon allow students to develop practical skills that lead to good-paying jobs or that will prepare them to continue their education. You can view a more detailed story on the FFA on MSBA's Stand Up for Public Schools page on the MSBA website. The Stand Up for Public Schools project is designed to highlight the many good things going on in Missouri's public schools. MSBA is sponsoring a special visit to Washington, D.C. this summer. It's an opportunity for board members to meet with members of our congressional delegation to discuss federal education issues that are important to public schools. That trip is scheduled for July 8th and 9th. Check the MSBA website for details if you're interested in making that trip to Washington, D.C. Registration for the 2014 MSBA Annual Conference in cooperation with the Missouri Association of School Administrators opens this month. This year's event is scheduled for September 25th through 28th at the Lake of the Ozarks. We'll have another outstanding lineup of keynote speakers and more than 80 breakout sessions, all designed to improve the leadership skills of school board members and administrators. You can register for the annual conference on the MSBA website. MSBA's Center for Education Safety once again is sponsoring the annual Safe Schools and Colleges Conference, September 23rd through 25th, just prior to this year's annual conference. That's it for this month's edition of the MSBA Board Report. Thanks for allowing us to have some time at your board meeting, and so long from Columbia.